live
Alrighty.
on episode 1 of the BK Lounge podcast.
Oh, I was going to say it.
You want to go ahead?
No.
I'll let you give the backstory of why it's the BK Lounge podcast.
Alright.
This is Harper
This
also.
is Harpy.
Cooper's down here. You can't see him, but
He's finally resting.
he's our newest addition.
Yes. So, I'm Mackenzie. This is Bryce.
I'm Bryce.
I go by Kinsey, Kens, Mac, anything like that. But Bryce and I knew we wanted to do a podcast, and we'll get into that a little bit more here in a minute. But the reason it's called the BK Lounge is I don't really know where you all are tuning in from, what your fast food history is, or the industries, or what you frequented, what you didn't. But I loved Burger King, and so did my dad. He did pass away when I was 17. I'm now 24. But we loved Burger King together, and we would always go, and we always ate Whoppers, and he would always order it as a flippin' Whopper, and either the people taking an order loved it, or they were like, yeah, okay, is that all? Totally hated it. But yeah, my dad and I were really close. I'm also working on not as many likes and ums. You guys will understand I'm going to be very real with you. I'm not going to fake anything or fabricate it. Working on those ums and likes. But I will never express any opinions that aren't my own. I will never promote something I don't believe in or that I don't like.
Good job, Cooper. Go and pee on the puppy pad. And he stepped in it. He's our 8-week-old new pup, so he's still learning.
Yes. So, anyways, BK Lounge, at least where I'm from, is a kind of nickname joke for the Burger King. And so we were just kind of trying to brainstorm. We wanted it to be simple. We wanted it to be kind of fun, funny. And we were talking, and I was drawing some logos, kind of trying to think, and I was doing a B and a K. And I was like, well, what about the BK Lounge? And Bryce was like, I love it.
Instantly.
And I said, you do know that's kind of a nickname for Burger King, right? Because Bryce does not. He's not a Burger King fan.
I love my fast food, but I can't get on the Burger King train.
Yeah, so that's a little bit behind why we have decided the BK Lounge. I introduced myself as Mackenzie a lot, but everyone I'm close with calls me Kens and Kenzie. Mm-hmm. Some people call me Mac. So sometimes I forget. Definitely people would be like, so what? I guess the B is Bryce, but what's the K? So yeah. That's why we're at the BK
Our branding
Lounge.
on everything on social media platforms is Bryce and Kenzie. Mm-hmm. So go follow us on Instagram, like our Facebook page, Bryce and Kenzie on everything. So,
But kind of what we wanted to do with this podcast is we wanted to. I mean, we've both been through things in our lives, and I know for a fact that any struggle in life, not only in my life or Bryce's life, but anybody's life, you don't go through those things for nothing. You go through them whether it's to help other people or teach you all your own lesson, right? Etc. with that. But we know that there is a right path, and it's not the traditional graduate high school, graduate college, get married, have a child, 9 to 5 job. We don't believe in that, and our moms think we're kind of crazy.
Yeah,
they tell us, you millennials don't keep jobs very often, and maybe we don't.
Not wrong.
They're not wrong, but we just know that there is a right path for everybody, and just because everybody has a right path doesn't mean that it all has to be the same or uniform or...
We don't really... The path that is created of, the 9 to 5 job, the getting married after college, having kids right away, that path we found just isn't really for us. Mm-hmm. And so this podcast is going to be a lot about us creating our own path and hopefully being a reference to all of you.
And inspiring our listeners, whether you're in college or you're in your 50s. It's never too late to start. It's never too late to try something new, and I'm not saying, hey, go quit your 9 to 5 job and pursue what you want.
There's definitely a smart way.
Yeah, there are smart ways, and there are many, many different types of references, other podcasts, and if you ever have any questions, feel free to, send us a DM. We would love more topics for podcasts. We have quite a few for the future, but if you have a question, chances are somebody else does too, so we would love to answer it or give you advice. And by no means are we experts.
No, we're just sharing our life and our experience.
Yeah, I don't think there is like we said, there's not a right way to do this, but we have found that we have been inspired by other people that are doing the same thing, and we pick and choose who we take from and what we would like to implement in our own lives. So we just want to provide that for other people too.
Exactly. And, a big part of it is the fact that we want to share what we've been through, what we found works for us, what we found hasn't worked for us. And it's not just going to be about careers. We're going to talk about our relationship and our childhood and dealing with things, dealing with tragedies and dealing with negative and positive things.
Yeah.
So
all the way from family to friends to a job to a living situation.
Right.
We just want to share everything. I'm a huge believer in sharing your fears and totally squashing them. I'm more new to it than most, I guess. I mean, I guess I don't even know if I can say that.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely new to that. But I get kind of a adrenaline high off of hitting submit on that post or speaking about it or telling a friend about something that I'm insecure about or I fear. I'm really loving doing that, and I found so much support in places I never would have thought. I am definitely a lover, and you will figure that out about me.
Through.
I love very hard. When somebody has showed interest in being my friend or I've showed interest in being their friend, it is like all or nothing. I definitely am a huge lover and a people pleaser, and there's good things and bad things about it, and I'm working on the things that aren't so great and just trying to make it through. But
sorry for the excess noise. Our dogs are on one right now with the toy.
No, you can't have it.
We gotta censor them a little bit
because
they can get super crazy. We were hoping they would just lay down and sleep because they seemed a little tired, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore.
No, it doesn't.
So
sorry, where were we?
Just talking about kind of what we want to do with the podcast.
So I think it's time now to kind of introduce ourselves and give some background.
Right, me or you first?
I don't care, you choose.
Okay, I can start since you kind of explained what the podcast was. My name is Bryce Andrew Francois, and I'm from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Population just over 60,000, which is bigger than most cities. It's either the biggest or the second biggest in Wyoming.
Very big.
So you came from a town of less than 10,000, right?
Yes.
So definitely a big difference there. But I was very blessed to have a very what would you describe my childhood as?
I just would
fortunate.
say,
very fortunate. My mom kind of had a tough childhood, and she made sure that my brother and I had everything we wanted. Not to the point where we were spoiled rotten.
You had jobs and you had to work for things.
And she taught us values and being thankful, but
I'd say you were the perfect mix of being fortunate but also not being spoiled rotten.
Right. She taught us a lot of good things and
great money habits, great,
Have I followed all of them? Not necessarily, but
pretty darn well.
She's always ingrained in me on, being a good person and being respectful and appreciative of things that I have in my life. So for that, I'm very thankful. She had what I would say is a tougher childhood, and she was very focused on giving us the things that she did not have growing up.
One of the things I'm very, very interested and intrigued by and inspired is people who have tragedy and they choose. I love you can either make it bitter or let it make you bitter or let it make you better.
Right.
And she is definitely a let it make you better type of person, and I hope that I am also working that way.
You absolutely are.
Sorry, continue though.
I think there's really two paths when you have tragedy and things like that in your life. There's two paths you can take. You can let it, like you said, you can let it make you bitter or better. And that choice, when you get to that decision point, I would say is arguably one of the biggest decisions in a person's life.
Yeah. Because
it kind of shapes the rest of their future.
Yeah, and I think it has a lot to do with people that support you. I think when you have a bad thing happen in your life, if you have a good support system, whether it's your friends or your family or your church or anything like that, really. I think that is what makes all the difference. So
Exactly.
we're hoping, I mean, that's another goal of our podcast is if you don't, for any reason, have that support system, we're here. And
Look to us as a resource.
Yeah,
that's what we want to be.
we just want to provide and help and be there for anybody, because there's really no reason anybody should ever have to follow patterns that brought tragedy into their own lives.
Well, if they do, you shouldn't have to follow it alone.
No,
you shouldn't have to try to figure it out
not.
alone.
No, definitely.
So that's a big reason that we want to start the podcast, is because we want to be a resource to you guys that we were looking for, a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And looking for someone to say, it might not all be all right, but it will be.
Yeah. And one of the things I love the most is write the article that you Google and you couldn't find, or
Exactly.
So I follow that with a lot of things, like make the podcast you wish existed or that you searched for. So that's
be the
one
resource
thing.
you needed.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so we've been very fortunate in our life and very blessed, and we want to kind of pay that forward to people who need that in their life right now.
Yeah.
So
sorry, keep going about yourself.
So I always played sports growing up. I played golf and basketball were my two main ones. I wanted to play football, but my build doesn't really allow for that.
You would have been a great running back.
Yeah, maybe. But I went to Central High School. 2015, I came to the University of Wyoming. I started off as a marketing major because that was kind of what my brother did, and didn't really know what path I wanted to take, and quickly realized that I did not want to go through all the preliminary classes.
Me too.
Yeah, we took accounting and economics and really despised it. I will tell you, one of my biggest regrets is not sticking with accounting to the point where I got to, not sticking with marketing to the point where I got to take marketing classes, because I did switch majors before I got to take any of those. But
well, what'd you switch to, Bryce?
I switched to journalism, which I'm very thankful for, and that helps, kind of ease the anxiety of that regret. Sorry about our dogs.
Sorry,
they're absolutely nuts right now. They're knocking microphones, knocking the camera.
Oh my gosh.
But
hey, we're real. We're uncensored.
Yeah, this is what you're gonna get. Our dogs are probably gonna be a part of every single podcast we do. So, I switched to journalism my sophomore year. That's also the same semester that I decided to join the athletic department and do social media for them. Excuse me. Hey, Cooper. Harp. What are you guys doing? Are you just trying to make yourself known? Anyway, I joined the athletic department doing social media. That's actually where I met Kenzie. And that I owe probably 80% of the opportunities I've had since then to that internship.
Definitely.
Because it was unbelievable. We got to be on the sideline of the football games. We got to be on the sideline of the Mountain West Championship.
Basketball.
Yeah, Kenzie actually went down. It was the year.
Poinsettia Bowl.
Yeah, the first year I was there. She went down to San Diego to the Poinsettia Bowl and was on the sideline for that. So we've had some very cool experiences through that internship.
Yes.
And it's really taught us so much, creatively and technically, I would say, because there was definitely structure to it.
Yeah, 100%.
But, creating videos, graphics, images, a whole whirlwind of things. And
it was neat, though, because we got to kind of help build the program.
Right. It was still very in early stages.
Yeah, exactly. So we got to help build the structure, and we got to help teach students that applied and got the internship that are younger than us or were younger than us and new to the internship, and we got to pass down those skills. And shout out to our work bestie Mary, who's in Rhode Island now, pursuing athletics. She's awesome. We had so much fun with her.
Yeah, I mean, we were literally the trio. It was so much fun to, have a couple of good friends in the internship.
Yeah.
And outside the internship. I mean, we did so much outside of it. Obviously, you and I met through the internship, and now we're engaged. So we definitely owe a lot to that internship.
Yeah.
And I think Mary would say the same, too.
Absolutely.
But after the internship, I did marketing for education abroad for a while. I'm going to grab him for a minute and just let him chill out. This is Cooper. I don't know if you've seen him yet, but he's a little squirrely right now. But I did social media for education abroad for a semester, and then you want to grab her?
Come here.
Maybe she'll chill out. And then after that, I worked for Wyoming Education Association for a couple months. Mm-hmm. And then I'm in my current position now. I'm the marketing coordinator at the bookstore. Mm-hmm. And not to say I didn't like those jobs, because I definitely did. But I'm in a place where my main focus is working for myself. And that's kind of my overarching goal. And so until I can make that my full-time income and my full-time career, I'm going to be doing, some side jobs and different things to supplement that passion.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I'll let you take over from here.
Okay. Well, like I said earlier, my name is Mackenzie Boyles, soon to be Francois. Mm-hmm. I stole my thunder that we are engaged.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. Let's see. I was born and raised in Cody, Wyoming. It's my favorite place in the whole wide world. I hope to never ever miss a 4th of July there. It's so amazing. 52 miles from Yellowstone, the wildlife, the rivers, the oceans. Oh my gosh. The rivers, the reservoir, the
reservoir's about the size of an ocean.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. The rafting, the hiking, it's unreal. You will never find it. We are very into paddleboarding.
Right.
Last year for my birthday, my mom actually got us 2 paddleboards, so
which wasn't necessarily fair, because I got a paddleboard also for Kenzie's birthday.
For my birthday, but
it's not something you want to do alone.
No, definitely not. And it's a lot easier to be on your own board. That's not to say there haven't been times where we've only taken one board out, right, and Bryce has fished off the back, but
now we can take both boards out and take a pup on each board.
Yeah, so that's very exciting. And someday I'd really love to get into yoga on my paddleboard, so I got a more wide one that is yoga specific. So catch me.
It's got kind of the padded surface.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Inflatable, definitely a huge fan of inflatables. Hard ones are a lot harder.
Buns
They're
is
buns.
the term you're looking for.
Buns, yes. So always been an outdoor kind of person. My parents met at a river rafting company in Cody, and the other families that worked there and the owners, I grew up with their boys. I was the only girl. I'm an only child, so always been very lucky in that way. And each family that I grew up with didn't have girls, so I was always the girl, and it was very fun. And I mean, that's has a lot to do with the way I am, I'm sure.
100%.
Just being all the dad's little girl that they never had, and but being kind of tough and growing up with the boys, but still kind of sensitive
the boys,
because I was the girl, I graduated high school in 2013, came to the University of Wyoming, started it just in business undecided, took accounting 1 and accounting 2, and that was enough for me. And I was like, you know what, I want to be a PE teacher like my mom. Then I realized that physical education is not through the College of Education, it's through the College of Kinesiology, which is anatomy and physics 1 and physics 2 and chemistry. Just difficult science. I wouldn't say we're not smart.
No, but it's for
a different brain.
Yeah,
much different
it's for
brain.
The math and science-minded people of the world.
Yeah. So I was like, crap. Sorry, Mom. Didn't realize you were
Harper.
Super smart. I owe you an apology. Harpy.
He's sleeping. Leave him
be.
Hey,
come on. Up here.
Harper, come here.
Come on.
Good girl.
Lay down. Can you lay down? Good girl. And then I went back into business and declared marketing. I was a 4-year member in Chi Omega, a sorority. Loved that. I met some of my favorite people in the whole wide world. I got amazing leadership skills. I learned so much. I mean, there were grade requirements, and those girls, they helped me stay in school and really believe that I was smart and give myself credit where credit was due, and taught me how to work hard and
Harper.
All those things that I didn't formally have before Chi Omega. And then when I was a sophomore, Harper.
She's being a bully.
Hey, come on. Put her on your side. when I was a sophomore, I applied for the athletics internship that Bryce was talking about, and loved it. Was in that for 3 years. I got to work directly through Instagram for a project called Student Section, just showcasing what game day in the War Memorial Stadium is like, and that was unlike any other experience. I got to work with
awesome.
Facebook for their stadium app that they now have, where they're trying to compete with live television. I worked for a Silicon Valley startup called House Party, which is a group video chat app. Got to go to San Francisco, go to the headquarters. I've met the senior vice president of sales of the Baltimore Ravens, because he's from Powell, which is just 22 miles from my hometown, Cody, and he had our internship before it was social media. It was New Media, I think.
Yeah.
His name, I don't know if I said his name, Kevin Rocklitz, but gotten to have dinner with him, meet him several times. Such an amazing guy. Just the opportunities that we got from that internship are just
they're irreplaceable.
Yeah,
they're priceless.
They're crazy. I'm so thankful for them. Decided I didn't really want to go into athletics because, especially collegiate, you're never out of a season. You're always preparing for the next while you're in one. A lot of long hours, and I'm not afraid to work hard by any means, but I would like,
we like spending time together and
with our dogs, and
right.
I would like to have a family and be around for our kids' events. And super big props to everybody that do work in athletics, especially Mary.
Kidding.
We're thinking about you.
Yeah.
Just not really a lifestyle that we were interested in. However, I did really come to find I love the event side of athletics. So that's something that I'm currently pursuing. As of right now, I'm just working for a couple different families in Laramie, nannying and helping out around their houses while I'm trying to pursue. Sorry, Bryce is trying to give Harper.
I'm trying to get her to calm down because she is not having any of this.
No, she is not.
So excuse the noise.
But I love the changing of events. I would love to promote events or plan events, something along those lines. I'm a huge
So sorry, everybody.
Rachel Hollis fan. I would love to work for her. I don't
This is the third microphone I've knocked over.
I'm a big fan of Austin, Texas. I love it. I went to a swim camp at UT when I was in high school. I loved the city, loved the atmosphere. I loved the warmth.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm tired of being cold.
Tired of 9 months of winter.
Yeah, just to the bone.
Oh man, it's got to be around 0 degrees out right now.
Every morning it's below freezing. It's below 32.
We got pounded last night with a huge snowstorm.
They plowed outside of our apartment complex, and in 15 minutes it was drifted all over again because of the wind.
I mean, we had to shovel the drift away from our front door.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
But I don't remember where I was going with this.
I don't know if I do either.
Just talking about. So I would love to end up a little more south. Family is really big to me, but my family is not just blood. I've been just shown so much love and support through the community in Cody. I would love to end up there, and I think Bryce and I would love to be able to stay in Wyoming. It's just really hard right now. We're really behind the times here in terms of social media and I would say trends in general.
Right.
Unless you're in Laramie, which, students from other, countries even, but states are at. So they bring a lot of influence into town. But in a small town like Cody, there's not a whole lot of influence from other places.
Exactly.
So it's just kind of hard to, and like I said, we're not afraid to work hard, but there are a few people who have really put their foot in the door and they're doing great, but it's just not a place right now where multiple people can be doing that. It's kind of the first guys and that's about it. So,
and I think a big reason we're doing what we're doing is hopefully we can move away, kind of build our brand up, and then bring those experiences and that knowledge to Wyoming.
Yeah, build a name and a brand.
Hopefully make it a little bit more progressive and get businesses to understand the importance of marketing and social media.
Definitely.
And like we said, aside from that, be resources for people who are struggling in life just like we have.
Or businesses that are struggling, or
exactly.
families
really
or
anyone.
couples that are struggling.
The
But
podcast is not about one main thing. It's going to kind of be, our experiences, what worked for us, what didn't work, what we recommend. By no means are we experts, but
no, not at
we
all.
never claim to be either.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we're headed. My whole life I've just felt different than people my age, people around me, and I've always known that I didn't go through things like my dad passing away at 17 or my mom getting cancer less than a year later for nothing. I know that I'm meant to do something with these experiences, and I'm pretty sure it's to make a difference or make a change, and I haven't discovered yet if it's one single person or if it's the entire world.
That stuff, it just doesn't matter. Just in the fact that, you and I both have the same mindset that if we affect one person's life positively,
100%.
we win. We're doing what we set out to do.
Yeah, and I'll never settle and be like, okay, my goal is met.
Right, we'll always keep
I'll
working.
always want to keep trying, but I know that it is to make a difference and make a change and help people. And so, maybe that's what this podcast will get to do. And if so, I would absolutely love that. I would love to make a difference with this. Like I said, even if it's in one person's life. So that's my biggest goal of 2019, is to really hone in on what that purpose is for me. I love meditation. I love doing yoga. I love reading about auras and chakras and all that kind of stuff. I have crystals.
Exactly.
I'm very into astrology. And one thing you'll learn about us as well is we are very, very into manifesting, goal setting, speaking things into existence. We cannot express enough how important that has been in our lives. And pretty much more recently than not, we've been doing it for a little over a year now.
Yeah, I think you've definitely done it longer than I have, because I didn't do any goal setting. I didn't do any speaking into existence before I met you. And even when we started dating, I said, that's not for me, but we found that it's not something that's for or not for someone. It's something that, you have to set goals. You have to have something that you want to achieve and work towards.
Just, simply writing it down. We can go back, and when we do a podcast specifically about goal setting or manifesting or any of those things, we'll make sure we come prepared with statistics. But it's like, you're 30% more likely or something like that to reach a goal if you just have it written down.
It's really significant.
And then if you map out the steps, it's even more, maybe another 30%. It's huge. Just reading your goals every day, seeing them, remembering why you're doing them, writing down steps to get to them. But
if you don't have something you're working towards nothing.
Exactly.
You don't have any goals and anything concrete that you're trying to work towards.
Yeah, so we just kind of want to share our experiences. We feel so fortunate and lucky to have had things work so well for us. And like I said, we just want to share those experiences.
That's why we want to pay it forward.
Yeah, we want to spread the word and hope that it can help you a little bit, or a friend that could use some encouraging words or something like that.
Exactly. And so
on.
Other than the fact that it really helps our brand, we want you to share our content in hopes of reaching someone that can use it as a resource.
Yeah, and we're not doing this for fame or for money or anything. We just feel a calling in our hearts and in our souls, and it's what makes us happy, and I don't see why we wouldn't pursue it, because it's not like we're putting any negativity out there. And we're scared and we're nervous, and I've definitely had my doubts, well, is anyone even going to listen to us? There are people that have it way worse than us, but that's just, what is it called?
A mental barrier.
Just setting up mental barriers. So we're going to shoot our shot, and if it works out, that's amazing. And if not, hopefully we helped a couple people along the way.
Yeah, and if this isn't the path that, turns into a career for us, we're not going to be upset at all.
No,
because we're not doing it, in hopes of, obviously we're doing it in hopes of becoming our career, but that's not the sole reason we're doing it.
No.
We want to help people and provide a resource that we wish we had when we were going, through college and different areas.
Definitely.
So, I think we can talk a little bit about our relationship, kind of how we met, where we're at now.
Okay.
I'll let you take the lead on that.
Sure. So, like we said, we met in our internship, and we were just friends at first, and then
we realized really early that, you know, there was kind of a special connection there.
Yeah, definitely. And I was newly single and not ready to be with somebody, and Bryce was.
Ready to mingle, but not ready to settle down quite yet.
No, Bryce was, but he, you know, just kind of let me do my thing. Not easily, definitely. We pushed and pulled with each other.
I think I subconsciously, I didn't realize that I was ready for a relationship, because for a long time I claimed that I was fine, you know, just seeing each other here and now, and here and there, and
spoke it. You convinced yourself,
right?
Definitely.
Exactly. So that was definitely something I had to work through, because, you know, deep down I knew I was ready for a relationship and wanted to be with you. But
long story short, we got in a relationship.
Yeah, as you can tell. But I mean, there was periods of, you know, around a month where we thought we hated each other,
which was terrible because we worked together.
Yeah, and we claimed we would never talk to each other again,
but we kept it professional.
Harper,
we always, you know, put work above everything else, and if we had to interact, it was always totally fine. Which
right.
I think one thing that we've really found is so special is that we can work together so well. Like, we were friends first, and we were coworkers, and then we were friends, and now, you know, we're together. We're partners in life and in jobs and in projects, and I think that's really special. We really, really, really appreciate getting to work together. You're my best friend.
Yeah.
You're my favorite person to work with.
And that's a huge reason we're doing what we're doing now, is because we love working together, and we think we work pretty well together.
Yeah, just, from what I can tell and what we've experienced, we just have those perfect compliments. Like, he has the journalism technical, I have the marketing creative, and that's not to say Bryce isn't creative, because
to say you're not technical.
He definitely is.
We just complement each other. You know?
Where one is a little bit weaker, the other is stronger, and
exactly.
We just really cherish that, and we don't really get sick of each other. So, you know, I've heard people say, "Oh, I could never work with my spouse or my significant other. Like, I need that time away from them." But
we've never felt that.
No,
So we've always, when we work together, we
miss you, and not just like, oh, I missed you today, but there are projects that will come up or something, and it would just be so much easier if we were together.
Right, exactly.
Because then it could be executed so well.
Exactly. And so that, like I said, that's one of the biggest reasons we're doing this podcast, is because us working together is something that we found works. You know,
yeah.
And we really love it.
Definitely, but I mean, in terms of our relationship, everything has been so natural. And I don't know if this is just a girl thing or if it's just a me thing or what it is, but
Let us know if you guys experienced this as well.
Definitely. I always thought that being in a serious relationship, I mean, obviously getting engaged was a big event in our life.
That was probably the event we felt the most, and obviously, you know.
But in terms, you know, I always thought it would be like the movies, like the guy gives the girl a key and a pretty box, and no, it just, everything has been so, we didn't even talk about it.
No,
we never
literally
had a conversation.
Just did it because that was the next logical step.
Yeah, like, why wouldn't we? Everything has just felt so natural and easy with each other, and that's not to say we haven't had to work on things, because
we've worked on a ton of things.
There are a lot of things that individually and together, and we've had to work on and learn from each other and deal with, and I mean, that's just more to get into later as well. But everything has just been so natural, and it's just been nice. I think
really
that's
has been
kind of how, you know, at least for me, that was how I knew he was the one, because...
Well, and I think we've both been in relationships where we've thought, oh, you know, I could marry this person, and this person might be the one. But every relationship before this has felt the same, and this relationship feels different.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know, convinced us that this is the person that we are meant to be with.
Yeah, and we're not, like, bashing any previous relationships whatsoever, because you have to go through what you go through to get to where you are.
If anything changed, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Exactly.
So you can't have, you know, you can't wish that things didn't happen, you know, the way they did in the past.
Yeah. So if you're struggling with that right now, write us, let us know.
Yeah.
We can talk about it. We can talk through a situation. Obviously, we will be anonymous about it. We wouldn't be like, this person
this handle, here's their address and social security number.
No, we would never do that.
Absolutely
but
not.
We would love to talk, because chances are if you have an issue or you have a question or anything like that, other people are too. And So take that step, take that leap, be a leader, or be brave.
Yeah.
Speak about that fear, talk about it, get it out there.
Because it's not gonna get better unless you talk about it.
Exactly.
You know.
My good communicating boy.
Finally. When we first got together, I was a terrible communicator.
And all I wanted to do was talk.
Yeah,
Let's talk about why you don't want to talk about this. Let's talk about what happened to where you think that you shouldn't talk about it.
Exactly.
Let's talk about talking.
Yeah. And I
mean, that's not productive either, talking about everything.
Right. And so that was something we definitely struggled with in the beginning of our relationship. But, at this point in our lives now, we talk about anything and everything.
Yeah.
Almost to a fault. There are times where we're both kind of like, okay, chill. That's enough talking.
Yeah, like when we were on our way to go get our precious new baby Cooper. We're literally minutes away from pulling up. And Bryce says to me, I would like you to cut your guest list down by at least 100.
Let me give a little backstory here, a little background information. So our wedding list, we're trying to get it to around 200 to 250 people. And my list total is 55. So let's let that sink in for a minute.
I'm just going to keep taking a drink.
But no, in all reality, we've gotten to the point where communicating is very easy and very natural for us.
Yeah.
And, it's really not something we fight about anymore, which is very refreshing.
Yeah.
So.
Very nice.
Well, is there anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. I think that's a pretty good first go around.
To kind of let everyone know who we are. And
fingers crossed this episode we don't have to do again.
Yeah, no kidding. This is our third time doing it.
Yeah, it's our third time.
So, the first time we lost some footage and the audio didn't sound good. The second time the dogs were going crazy and it was just too distracting.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to stick with this one.
Yeah, I think it's a good one.
We appreciate you guys listening, and
don't forget to follow us on Instagram.
Bryce and Kenzie on Instagram and Facebook.